So I just finished watching Wonder Woman and I'm a little torn. I know nothing of anything aside from like the random comic book kind of references of her. And that's from like other TV shows and movies and general talk about the character. So how they kind of gave this story, I like how the story, I can't say I gave the story life, but like how they actually started the story and then ended the story, kind of gave it full circle. However, I have a few nitpicks. And this is coming from someone who knows nothing of, like I said, nothing about comic books, nothing about, like, anything, just, like, the pop culture references of Wonder Woman. So, okay, for number one, I'm very torn. I'm going to say I'm very torn, because I didn't not like it, but it was a little kind of over the top for me. Every time they had a fighting sequence, it almost seemed like the fighting sequences were in like fast forward, so they were slightly faster, so you could see like either they were fast forward or they were in slow motion, so you could see the dramatic effects of all of it. And I don't really know how I feel about it. It felt very comic booky to me, in the fact that it's very unrealistic. Yes, I admit the story itself is a little unrealistic in itself, but the action sequences, the fighting sequences were very, I don't know, I couldn't necessarily get behind them in how they were portrayed, but that goes with the universe, whatever this is. I am messing up my DC Marvels. I'm going to go with DC, because I think DC Superman, so Superman and Wonder Woman go hand in hand, and I'm totally wrong, and anyway. So there's that every time there was a fighting sequence, and it only in the fighting sequences with Diana, with Wonder Woman. All the other fighting sequences seem very much real time, and I understand why they did it to give dramatic effect, but I couldn't get behind it. So jumping back to the beginning though, when Diana's little and then she grows up, of course, prior to her asking her mother about the story of her existence, in a sense, I'm like, wait a minute, okay, there are no men on this island. How the heck did you get a child? Like, what the hell? But then, of course, you get the story, and she's Zeus's kid, she got molded into clay, and then Zeus kind of gave her life. Okay, fine. That's the story of Diana Prince. That's her story. That's Wonder Woman's story. So I'm kind of glad that got, whatever. A couple other nitpicky things, me and my plot holes, right? So a couple more nitpicky things when Diana you don't see her with her sword or her shield, and then all of a sudden they appear out of nowhere. I understand all magical stuff happens and superheroes can, pull stuff out of nowhere. However, that sword is like giant, like even gianter than like me showing the screen, because when she's changing with Steve's secretary, they leave with it, and she's holding it in her hand. She doesn't have it on her. She's holding it in her hand. She gives it to the secretary. She gives her shield to the secretary, and then all of a sudden they're now on the front line, more or less, and she has it with her. It's like, excuse me, you did not have that with you. I don't care if you're like a superwoman, a Wonder Woman, as you are, but hello, what the hell? So anyway, that kind of just little itty bitty things that bugged me. And then, so the very, very beginning, jumping to the ending, I was trying to keep in mind, okay, she gets a package with a photograph in it, which starts the story, from Wayne Enterprises. And the very, very end, she's writing an email to Bruce Wayne. Did emails exist even when Bruce Wayne was around? Like, I'm trying to remember from Batman and like any Batman movie that I've seen ever, and did they ever have computers? Like, I don't even know. I understand it's like real time, and I know computers aren't like brand new, but like a laptop? Pretty sure they didn't have laptops back then. What do I know? But anyway, so she's writing an email, says to Bruce Wayne, thank you so much for the photograph, and I'm like, okay, wait, so these two plots go hand in hand? I'm pretty sure they don't, but what do I know? I know nothing of comic books, nothing of this universe or these worlds, but I guess from an entertainment factor, the movie was good. It was very long. It was like 2.5 hours, I think, roughly 2 hours or so, and surprisingly it kept my attention. I don't like war films, and I don't really like superhero films. I have only ever seen the old Batmans, and I don't mean the ones with I'm blanking on all these actors' names. But so the ones I wish I remembered. Prior to the reboot, I guess. Anyway, so I've only ever seen those, and then I saw the very first Superman movie, not with, of course I'm again blanking on all these actors' names, the first reboot of the Superman with Brandon Routh. See, I kind of know some things. That was 2 hours of my life I'm never going to get back because I didn't like that movie all that much. But that's besides the point. So those are only really 2 movies that I kind of like were really into. And then this one, okay, I will put that up there with the Batman ones that I've seen, the old ones, not the new ones. Actually, I have watched some of the new ones, but that's besides the point. So it was good. It had my attention for all 2 hours of it, which is very surprising because it takes me a lot to actually sit down and focus on a movie and not play on my phone or not think of something else or not be distracted by, you know, God knows what. So props for that. So overall, I would give Wonder Woman like a thumbs up. You should go watch it if you haven't yet. I'm a little behind with all these movies, so of course, you know, it's been like a whole year or 2 or whenever since this movie actually came out. But aside from the weird plot holes, watch it for entertainment. Not so much, oh, well, that wouldn't happen, and where do they keep this, and the arsenal, and, you know, this, that, and whatever, and very superhero-y, and I know she's an Amazon, or sorry, she's not an Amazon, but she was from Zeus's hand. She was created by Zeus's hand, which made her a god, and then therefore she has magical powers, but yet everyone on the Amazon island also has magical powers because they jump very high and this, that, and the other thing. So if you look past all the plot holes, what I find to be plot holes, it is a good movie. I do have to laugh, and I wish I could remember the problem that my coworkers had about this movie. It was split. It was seriously split, whatever the argument was, and I don't remember what it was because I would have given my take on it. But I can bring it up next week at work and be like, hey, so I finally watched this. Let's talk about it. But anyway, overall, good movie. Go see it. Sorry I rambled and ranted a little bit about these plot holes and these magical things and whatever, but there it is. You can tell you the internet all about my thoughts and feelings and whatnot. So there it is. There you go.